Most firms survive, the best ones scale. Welcome to the Managing Partners Podcast, where law firm leaders learn to think bigger. I'm Kevin Daisey. Let's jump in. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Managing Partners Podcast. Excited to have a guest on here today that's covering a topic that I don't think we've really covered before. You know, we obviously try to cover as much about law firm business as possible. But I have Andre Wouansi on the show today. He's with Accurate Legal Billing, and they do exactly that. They help firms with billing and how important cash flow and collecting funds is to our businesses. And the faster we can get access to those funds so we can operate, grow, and scale is very important. So Andre is out of New York, where he's sitting right now, and thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here with you today. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so obviously with any guest, I don't read bios and try to do all that stuff. I just ask my guests to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, where you're from. And we got some topics that we'll get into today that hopefully will help some firms out there listening get a handle on some of their billing and collections. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Kevin. I've been in the legal industry for a little over 2 decades. Worked with the insurance companies in the past through my previous organization. And for the past 8 years, we've been supporting law firms across the country and also in Europe with billing and collection services, as well as having the first AI OCG compliance application out there. That's been a tremendous great help for law firm across the country. And just in the past couple of years, we saved over $225 million just for firms who's been using our OCG compliance tool.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, yeah, the stuff that you guys are doing, and AI is, the big talk. I was just at a couple of conferences, and all the tracks and talks are AI, and a lot of the vendors are AI. It's the big thing, and I know you're leveraging it and moving, that direction yourself. So,
yeah.
But I wanted to back up a little bit. You personally, I know you've been where are you from?
I'm from England. Moved to New York about 17 years ago, but I have company in the US for over 2 decades. And even when I was still back in the UK, I was running the company. I'll come in and go. So I finally settled in the US about 17 years ago. And
Nice.
through my previous company, as I mentioned earlier, so we worked and we audited legal bills. So which kind of led me to helping law firm with billing compliance. Through my previous company, we had saved our clients, which means the insurance company, the TPAs, the self-insured corporations, we saved them over $2 billion, right? And then 8 years ago, I said, you know what? We can help law firm ensure compliance so that company like the one that I used to own, they will not make the reductions. And over the past 8 years, we've saved $7 million. So just over the past 2 years, we saved what we can track. We saved over $225 million. We're in line to save law firm over $500 million by 2030.
That's awesome. I like the goal. It's measurable.
Yeah.
You got a time on it. That's great. And so, I wanted to, Andre, we talked the other day, and he's got a few things he can cover with the audience here. And, he's a smart business owner as well. So he's got lots to share beyond just what his company does. But I thought that one of the things that stuck out to me was, we're going into Q4 as we're recording this episode.
Yes.
And, he's like, I can share some things about what firms can do with billing and collections as we're getting towards the end of the year, how you want to end the year. So just interested to hear more about that and some of the challenges maybe that some of the firms may be facing, and maybe some guidance you could offer for that.
Thank you, Kevin. That's a very interesting question, and this will apply to firms of every type of industry. It don't have to be only insurance or workers' comp, whether you're personal injury lawyers or anything. This will apply to that. We're heading into Q4, as we already inside Q4, and this is a moment where firms have to kind of take a step back and look at where do we need to be by the end of the year with collections. I've seen over the years firms that kind of wait to the last minute to trying to go out and then recruit whatever they can, because they're coming into a period where they have to issue bonuses to their staff. And it's challenging. If you're trying to issue bonus, you have to work on those ahead of time. Now is the time for you to, okay, where are we with our collection? Do we need help with our collection? Don't wait till November, end of November. Don't wait till beginning of December to start saying, okay, we need to get resources to dump into our collection. This is a time that you should be looking at your cash flow. You should be looking at, okay, what is it going to cost me at the end of the year for these bonuses? Because all these attorneys who's been working at your firm, they're looking forward to the year-end bonuses, right? And now, if you don't have the cash flow, I see firms that at the end of the year, they have to go and draw against their line of credit. And a lot of them do that to pay bonuses. And sometimes they don't even recover the money during the next year. So because it's poor planning when it comes to collection, I believe that if firms are very proactive when it comes to their collection, you need to know where your problems are when it comes to collection. If you cannot identify those problems early on and then tackle them heads on, you're going to face challenges when it comes to that bonus time crunching. And people don't have the time towards the end of the year. Not only you're going to have the holidays, what firms have to take into account is this. As soon as the end of November comes in, the clock seems to run so fast, right? Because you have Thanksgiving, and then before you know it, is Christmas holidays and so forth. And before you know it, it's Christmas. Before you know it, it's January, right? You don't actually have the time, the resources with all the holidays to collect the money. So being more proactive, ensure that you collect ahead of time between November, between 1st of October and to the middle of November, you should have a bulk of your collection in place or a process in place that will guarantee you maximum collection by the end of the year, right? So that you don't run into these issues that I've seen firms facing, drawing against the line of credit. And lots of firms go and do that.
I had a story, I don't remember where I heard it, but it was,
yes.
We work with firms on marketing, things like that, but it was someone that was telling me, I don't know if they were just telling me a story or whatever, but it was, I don't know if it was a divorce family or a family firm or maybe a criminal defense firm, but some of these firms, like, they do all this work and then they don't have a good process for even invoicing and billing. And so, if I did legal work for you and I bill you 6 months later for something that's been rendered and completed, the likelihood that I'm going to pay that is so much smaller. Like, the value is not there when it's that far away from when the work was done. And so I drag my feet, I pay other bills. I don't worry about yours as much, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, Kevin. And I've seen firms, and I talk to managing partners across the country and in Europe, and they face the same challenge. Managing partners and attorneys in general, they don't tend to be business people in the sense that they're practice attorneys, right? I don't know why they always leave the finance side of the business to the last minute. I don't believe they're not really proactive. I think because they focus more on their client, doing a good business for their client, they neglect this part of the business, and it comes back and be a big challenge for them, right? And I see firm that comes to us and say, hey, we need help with collection. And they say to us, oh, can we give the client 30% reduction? Maybe they're going to discount, they're going to pay us. I always say to them, why? Why? Because this firm, especially personal injury or family attorneys, what they do is that they don't bill their client for a long period of time, right? And then they suddenly send an invoice of $25,000, $30,000 to a person, and they expect to be paid. But that person getting a $25,000 bill and start looking through it and think, oh, what am I paying for? Right?
Now,
I always recommend to do this. If you bill your client on a set of frequency, let's say every month, you give your bill to your client. If you give a client a $5,000 bill, they're likely to pay that bill. As opposed to you accumulate that for 6 months and give them a $30,000 bill. So the billing frequency is very important. You don't have to go out to your client and give them 30%, not 40% discount for them to pay the bills. And even then, they don't pay for it. They give you partial payment. So billing frequency is very important. Attorneys should be capturing their time. And that's also another area that I see them lacking. Right. I've been over the years, in some cases, people reach out to me, law firms will reach out to me and say, hey, can you give your professional opinion as to what we're charging is correct? I've been invited or consulted for divorce cases where they want me to represent them or to give expert opinion that the rate and everything that they charge is industry. But I say to them, okay, give me your timesheet. I want to see the task that you perform for this client. Oh, no, I don't have that. How am I supposed to put my name on something? How am I supposed to back you up if you're not recording your time properly? So you go to court with those bills and they get thrown out, or you get, a mere payment for those bills, the time that you actually spent, because of your poor time entry recording. You've got to describe. It doesn't matter whether the client gave you billing rules or not. You've got to know that, okay, the time I'm recording, if this time were to be challenged, can I support it? Can I back it up? Record your time in a way that could be backed up or to support the activity that you perform. If you clearly describe what you've done, why you did it. And I always recommend this to law firm. When you're creating a time or when you're billing your client, there are 3 things that you have to bear in mind. The nature of the task performed, why you did it, and how you did it. If you bear these 3 things in mind, you will clearly every time evidence the time that you worked, the task that is performed, and why you should be paid for it. But sometimes attorneys are not recording their time, and they sometimes believe that they can remember everything that they did 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, or a month ago. Some decide to record their time once a month. And, our brain, at time is very poor in terms of recollecting everything that we did.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I can't talk to you today, Kevin, and then be able to remember everything that we discussed 2 weeks from now today. So, but sometimes attorneys think that they can do that. And I see that over the years, and it's not good for the firm. So it's financially, they're losing money because of attorney poor time recording.
Yeah, I feel like, as an entrepreneur and knowing lots of startups and stuff, the smaller firms struggle with this the most. I feel like, if me and you just started our own business, you work with me. I also produce the work product. If I was a lawyer, let's just say, and then you have the relationship with the client, and you also have to do the invoice send outs. And that I feel like the smaller operations feel, Well, they don't want to bill somebody. They don't want to have to send that out. They delay it, right? And inadvertently just cause more problems with that client, the relationship, and then having to ask for the money
Yes.
to be paid for, and then probably, to your point, discounting it almost off the bat because they just don't feel good about the situation. So,
Yes.
just like if you paid me for a website and it took me 6 months or a year to create it,
Yes.
I would probably feel obligated to discount you, even if it was you're the issue that made it delayed. So it's, it's just a time. That's a time to value.
True.
It's time to value. So
Exactly. And that's the exact situation as you described. That's what they're facing. It's easy. Yes. It's difficult for them if you have your solo practitioner or you have a small practice, right? Yes, it's expensive to have all these extra resources to work in your team, but I believe that out there you can find company that can support you. Nowadays you have not just like you have company like ARB that can support you on your billing, on your accounting, and collection, and you don't have to pay tremendous amount, for us to support you. But it's something that's really needed. People need to. I would recommend to attorneys if you're running your practice, it's good to take time and sit down and look at your numbers. And then look at your forecast, look at your cash flow. Don't neglect that because it will hurt you in the long run. The money that you're not collecting today is less money that you're going to invest tomorrow in your practice. So whatever time you're billing today, and that's fair billing, you should be collecting for it. You should be collecting on those time that you're billing today, so you can grow your practice in the future. You can't be discounted your fees every time by 40%, 30% in the hope that the client is going to pay you. It's going to take you longer, and some of these firms leave off line of credit, right? So it's not. I don't believe that it's a great way to run your business or to grow your law firm. You should have proper structure in place, knowing where your money is going, and cash flow is a really big thing in any business. Any business that you're a business owner, Kevin. So cash flow is big.
Yeah, well, I remember, we have contracts and we have a set amount of money per month that a client pays us. A lot easier for us, but maybe a business law might have a retainers and things like that, similar to that. But we used to get checks, and we had a few clients that did some credit cards, and they didn't like the fees, but we lost the money from the fees. And our accountant set us down years ago. We're like, you're doing the work for these clients, and they're not paying you for 90, 60, 60, 90 days by check or whatever. You're basically funding the work for them, because we have people, we have overhead, we have the office, we have software. And so every day that's delayed, we're loaning them money, basically, is the way they put it. You're loaning your clients money that they should be paying for the stuff that you have. So that kind of hit us a little bit hard. And we've switched to ACH over the last, it took us about a year to go, but we went from average 30 days to 45 days to collect. And we collect up front. So like if I was going to work for you today for this month, I wouldn't want to collect it today for the month coming. It was taking us 45 days to collect it. And now we're down to I think it's 1.5 days for all of it across the board. Right.
That's great.
The more we do the cash, the more we can invest it. We can hire more people. We can get more software. We can make a better service and product for our client. Right.
And I wish that a lot of firms could learn from that, from your experience, the way that you guys change your setup and how you build and all this, because many firms out there ended up funding, whether they know this or not, but they're funding the legal spend or legal management of their client. So they're the one. You work, you defend a client, and then it takes you 90 days, 180 days to get paid. You funded the litigation. So, is it ideal for your firm because you want to retain the client? Maybe not. You're running your business to the ground, and then you're not even noticing. You think now, okay, I have these clients on my book, but what's the point of having a client on the book if you're going to be paying and funding their litigation?
Yeah. And clients should want a law firm to be profitable and cash flow positive so that they can focus on taking care of their legal issue the most efficient way.
Do you think that
possible.
client actually, to that point, Kevin, do you think that client actually care? I struggle to believe that they do, or
I don't
that
think
they
they
don't.
do. I said they should. But
They should, because at the end of the day, they have, I think that, I might be wrong, but I think that clients looking at it and say, okay, I have this number of firm on my panel. If you're not happy, I pick another firm, right? But now you have to fight to try to get paid for the service that you provided. So I think firms have to be a little bit more proactive and seek probably alternative fee arrangements so that they can finance and run their business. What fee arrangement, it would depend on the firm. You have some will push for hourly rate, some will push for AFA to be in place, some will push for retainers, and so on and so forth. So I believe that every firm should look at the finances and then maybe go back to the client and then have a different type of financial arrangement in place, which is going to support the growth of the business. Because as the firm grows, it's good for the firm, it's good for the client, because you now have a more robust firm that can represent you in your matter. So as you mentioned earlier, it'd be good for the client also that the firm is growing, but the firm has to consider alternative fee arrangement. That is going to work for them as well as their client.
yeah, I think you got to get creative, be flexible. Looking at your numbers, knowing your numbers, what your goals are too. I think, I think some people think, I don't want to collect that money because taxes, or I need to spend a bunch of money because of the end of the year, so it's taxes. So maybe if I don't collect that money until next year, every year you should be trying to build in as much as you possibly can. I look at the month, like each month starts and ends. How did we do this month? Was it good or was it bad? Was it on track or was it off track? So, I've heard business owners be like, well, I don't want to collect that yet, because we'll roll that to next year. It's like, you should be trying to build bigger and more revenue every single year, not pushing it off.
And then a dollar today in your pocket is better than a dollar, but than $2 tomorrow. So look, if you collect today, you have guarantee of that payment being in your bank account. You have guarantee of using that payment to grow your company. If you leave it to tomorrow, there's no guarantee for that to happen tomorrow. The business anything could happen to that business, or you might not be able to collect on that money. So having a process in place that can allow you to collect as soon as possible is better. I always think that any firm should have different process or different fee arrangement in place. You can't just have one. It's not going to work for your firm always. So having alternative fee arrangement from one client to another will allow you to maintain that good cash flow to grow your company, to grow your firm. Only through cash flow you grow your firm, right? And I see people, managing partners and all this struggling at the end of the month. They're scratching their heads. How are we going to meet payrolls? How are we going to do this? How are we going to pay bonuses? And I'm like, well, if you have a good process in place to ensure that not only the bills are correctly processed, the attorney's time is correctly recorded, because that's the issue. The only thing that your attorneys are selling is their time. And the only way we're going to measure that is if you write it down properly. If your attorneys are not recording their time on a daily basis, then you're losing money. And I've seen firms, Kevin, where they're saying, okay, we pay bonuses to our attorneys based on the billable hours. So they set targets, right? And then they give a target 160, 100, 200 hours a month. If you meet your target, we pay you X amount of bonus, maybe on a quarterly basis. However, I asked them, when your attorneys are meeting the target of 200 hours, how many of those hours are you actually writing off? How many of those hours are you actually getting paid for? Do you know for every single attorney, what's your net realization of that attorney? It's not just about them writing down the time, because somebody will write a time like this. An attorney will say, work on motion. What type of work did you do on a motion? Remember what I said earlier, you need to have the three elements: the nature, the type, and why you did it, right? But then just say work on motion. And it's worse for the client that have to submit their invoices to a third party to audit them, because the third party now look to your bill and say, work on motion, what did you do? We slashed it down, right? Now you pay that employee a bonus for a time that gets slashed down, and you don't recover, you're not getting money for it. So actually, you're paying your employees more than you collected. And how can you sustain that in a long haul? Very difficult to run any business like that.
Yeah, so, especially if you have a lot of people.
Exactly. So working with your attorney, making sure that they actually capture their time in a very efficient way. And second, billing every month on a consistent basis is much better. Having alternative fee arrangement across your portfolio of client is very important as well. That will help you bring some money in on a timely fashion.
Well, important stuff, awesome tips, that you've given us, Andre. And, I've been through some of those lessons myself. I've even done this a few times. This came up recently where a law firm wanted to pay us up front for the whole year for a small discount, if you will. But we'll give you all the money right now. And there's a benefit to your point. You get $1 in your pocket guaranteed today.
Yes. Now
it might not work for legal services necessarily, but just being flexible, being open, and things are changing too. With AI, the billable hour, will it remain billable hours, or it will be time to value based pricing? So there's going to be things changing over the years, I believe. So I think you just got to be open and flexible and plan.
That's true. And earlier you touched again on the AI there. Another point that I see, Kevin, I believe you and I, we touched this of records before, is AI adoption. Lots of law firms are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're still behind in terms of AI adoption. They think, I don't know if they think that is something that's going to go away. It's not going to go away. So the earlier you can jump onto the bandwagon, it's better for your firm. There's so many things that the AI can do today. It's not perfect by any means, but is getting better and better. So the earlier firm can adopt the AI, the better it is for them, because not only they can save, especially if you're a small firm, you can, even a big firm, you can save a lot of money. You can save some of the overhead costs. You can also show to your client how you can save money for them, right? Because sometimes it's not all about just writing more time. It's also showing the value that you're adding. If you can use an AI tool that can give you a quality service or quality reviewing of your document, and you can spend and now are reviewing the notes that the AI produced instead of spending 4 hours. You can demonstrate that to your client. You also, whenever you use an AI, encourage the attorneys and law firm to show the value that they're bringing to their client. It's very important. If I were running a law firm today, what I would do would be this. Here is what we were doing for you before. Here is how long it took us to do that. Here is how much we billed you before. Today, here is what we're doing for you. Here is how long it's taking us. Here is how much it's costing you. We're showing you that we also care about you as a client. This is how you can show the usability of AI and how you bring value to your client. How do you show that you care about your client finances? People think that, okay, AI is just about, no, this is how you can show that, you know what, as a client, I care about you. I'm not here to waste your money. I can show you, but how many law firms are thinking about this? How many law firms is actually sitting down and think, how do I demonstrate or show the value that I bring to my client? Don't just adopt this AI tool and then it's thinking, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going to save my practice some more time, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No, adopt the AI tool, understand the AI tool that you're adopting, and now how does that actually impact not only on your practice, but on your client? What value are you bringing to your client? You've got to demonstrate this to your client. And that's it. How is the client going to measure the value? It's how much financially that's going to impact on them. You can defend somebody in court all day long, but if your bill is going to end up being $100,000 and I defend the same person and my bill is $25,000, who do you think the client is going to bring better value to them? The $25,000, because that's what they're actually fearing. That's a pain that they're fearing. Paying you $100,000 or pay somebody $5,000. But if you can do your internal assessment, you show to your client, very simple. Here is how much you're paying me for this same service. Now adopt the AI. Here is how much you're paying me. I'm doing all this to bring you value. And many firms should be doing the same thing.
I agree. I think that's awesome. I haven't really heard anyone say that before. Leaning into that, showing the client that, hey, we're evolving, we're innovating, and we're getting better, and we're utilizing these tools, and we're going to pass that value on to you.
Correct.
Yeah, I tell my team I tell my team all the time, like, we don't share enough of the wins and work that we do for clients. Sometimes we talk about it internally. Like, we got to start telling them because they don't know
exactly
what we're doing internally. So.
And sometimes people, law firms assume that, okay, the client knows the value that I'm bringing. Well, they don't. You've got to understand that you have to, this client also, just like you as a law firm, they have multiple things that they're doing every day. So unless you can measure this and then bring it to their attention, they're not going to see the value you bring. You assume that they know what you bring it. You assume that if why they keep giving me cases? They keep giving you cases because you look good on their panel. It doesn't mean that they understand all the value that you bring in. If you can't show this value to them, don't assume that they know all of this, right? Yeah. I say to law firms sometimes, listen, if you're working for a client, you're working for a corporation, you're working for a TPA or any client for that matter, it's your responsibility. Besides the fact that you're going to court and defend them or doing every other work for them, it's your responsibility to show the added value. Okay? And how do you do this? It's the bottom line that matters to the client. Just like for you, it's the bottom line that matters to your firm. You want that money to come in so that you can manage your business. One way to show to the client that you care about them is care about the bottom line. That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what we all in business for. If I care about your bottom line, you will feel that I care about you. But if I don't, there's no way for you to really feel it unless I can show you that, hey, Kevin, Had I not done this, it would have cost you $100,000. But I did this and it cost you only $20,000. You turn around and say, well, thank you, Andre, for doing that for me. But I have to demonstrate that to you. I can't assume that, hey, Kevin will automatically guess that if it wasn't for my work, it would have cost him $100,000. I have to provide that to you. Many firms are not doing that. Whether it's big or small, I talk to AM laws, and they don't do the same thing. I sometimes even ask law firm, AM law firm, I said, when was the last time you provided metrics to your client? Oh, we don't. They share metrics with us. I said, no, you should. They said, well, we don't know what type of metrics we can share with them. I say, oh, I can give you 4 examples. And you're going to see that a very simple thing that you can do. If you're working for any client, what they care about, show them how many cases do they have. How do you close the case? And this is litigation aging or closing ratio. If I'm working for you, you give me 100 cases. If I close 50 of those cases very quickly, because for the client, every case that's closed shows that they're not spending any more on that case. They want to know how many cases you're closing. So if you want to differentiate, if you're a law firm, you want to differentiate yourself from another law firm next door, how do you do that? Simple thing. Show that the value that you bring in. I will give you 4 examples here, Ken. Show the metrics, right? How many cases I'm closing for you every year? What's my closing ratio? I'm not just keeping your file open so I can bill on them. I'm closing them as soon as I can. Second, how do I staff my cases? Who are the people actually working on your cases? Who are the people billing on your cases? Am I using the senior partners a lot of time on my cases, or am I using the associates and the paralegals so I can save you money and I can give you better quality? Am I only using the partner time just to review the work so that I can give you better quality without you having to pay a lot for my services?
Mm-hmm.
Right. How's the budget? If we're talking about a budget, how about setting up the budget? How am I meeting the budget that I set up with you? Right? You have to talk with your firm. You are an expense to the firm, to your client, sorry. You have to talk with your client. They see you as an expense. And showing them every time that, hey, you might be looking at me as an expense, but I'm trying to do everything to cut down this cost. Right? And we talked earlier about, okay, the use of AI. Some clients now asking law firm to use AI to review documents, to do all the work that they know the firm was using lots of associate time to do. You're really going to see in the next probably 18 or 24 months, you're going for, especially the firm that have billing rules, billing guidelines from their clients, they're going to see that there's going to be a list of tasks that they will not want your associate or your paralegal to perform anymore. They will want those to be moved on to the AI. What your firm is going to be required to do is to review the note generated by the AI. Because the AI can take 30 seconds to review those documents and summarize it for you to review and spend an hour. Today, an attorney, an associate or paralegal might take 4 hours to review something. Push that to the AI, it takes half an hour to review it, 30 seconds to review it. But they're going to say to the firm, your associate can only spend maybe half an hour reviewing the notes from this. So you see they're going from 4 hours that is spending today to about half an hour. And this is what are going to happen across the legal industry. People are going to push for more work to be done by the AI, and then attorney should only be doing reviewing, which leads to another point I was discussing with another managing partner a couple of weeks ago. I was saying to him, you need to be aligning your practice to do more work that the AI will not be doing. Because if you think that in the next 2 or 3 years, you're still going to be doing all this document reviewing, all this summarization, and all this paying attorney to do that. You're going to be surprised because the firm next door embracing AI to do that work, they're going to take work away from you. Okay? You're going to have to shut down your door or you're going to have to merge with another firm. If you are not putting into place or training your attorneys to do more work that the AI will not do, then sooner or later, you're going to face a lot of challenges. And that also comes back to what we said earlier, Kevin. Firms should be embracing the AI, the use of AI into their practice, to the benefit of their client, but also to the benefit of their practice, the law firm. Because going into the future, you have no choice. I can tell you this, you're not going to have any choice to adopt that. Adopt them early so you have a good foundation. Also look at your practice area. Look at the key area that AI is not going to be needed. If the documentation review and summarization, if your attorney is spending lots of time today reviewing medical records, review this kind of thing, those are the parts of your work that's going to be easily taken by the AI. Stop 100%. That. Focus on other areas of your business if you're looking for a way to grow your company, your firm in the future.
That's all good points. I 100% agree with you. It's you can't get away from it. You got to get involved. Yep. You got to bring in AI, or you're going to be out of business. You also have to collect on your bills and get paid on time. So
exactly. Exactly. So, yeah.
Well, Andre,
you have to collect.
I appreciate you so much for sharing all this with me today. A lot of great tips. I like the different tips you brought to the table, the 3, the 4. I really want to know, or make sure that folks know how to connect with you. Obviously, you have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and someone might need your help out there. So what's the best way for lawyers listening to find you, reach out, and connect with you?
You can go to our website, accuratelegalbilling.com, and connect with me through there, or you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can reach out to me directly at alw@accuratelegalbilling.com.
Excellent. Yeah, anyone needs a connection with Andre, just let me know. I'm happy to make the introduction. If you just have questions, I know Andre's happy to talk and answer those, or if those services can be helpful to you, of course, reach out and connect. So, Andre, I know we covered a lot of things. Hopefully it's very helpful to folks listening. I appreciate you sharing all the different aspects and your opinions and kind of view of where things are going. I think we're on the same page about that. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thanks for having me. Always
Absolutely.
A pleasure.
Absolutely. No, it was a great pleasure. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I hope you learned a lot here from Andre and some of the things he talked about, some things you need to consider and be prepared for. So we'll see you on the next show. See you guys.
Thank you.